Alright, this is bouncer cleanup video here. First you want to make sure that there is no kids inside or in front of the bounce house, and you're going to flip off the switch. Once you flip off the switch, you can take off the blower attachments, undo both blower attachments so that way the most air can get out as possible. You're going to flatten them out, lay them down so that way the air can get out. Then after you do that, you're going to want to take the bounce house, you're going to want to kind of pull it towards the front, away from where the outlets are in the back. That way all the air kind of pushes towards the back of the bouncer and it flows out through those two tubes that are in the back. Some of the other bouncers do have zippers on them and things as well. This is just a basic bounce house, so this one does not have zippers on it, so you're just going to pull it forward all the points so that way all the air funnels towards the back of the bouncer. Make sure that nothing's trapped in the step. Make sure it's nice and flat, and once you get it flattened out, go ahead and pull the air tubes back out to make sure that you're getting a good airflow out of the back of the tubes. The better airflow you have, the quicker it will deflate, and the quicker you can get this bounce house cleaned and rolled. Now, while you're waiting for it to deflate, there's plenty of things to do. Go ahead and you can go take the cords, you untie them. Make sure while you're doing this, you can do the cords, you can pick up sandbags. If there's other supplies at the parties, go ahead and pick those up while the bouncer is deflating. For the cord on the blower, you're just going to wrap it up in a loop kind of fashion, not too big of a loop, just kind of a loose tie around there like that. And what you're going to do is you're going to tuck it through the handle of the blower. And once you get the majority of the cord tucked through the handle of the blower, you're going to take the extra part of the cord there, tuck it back through, and just do a loose one-time around knot so that way it doesn't pull out and it stays in place. And make sure you get the extension cord. You're going to go unplug it from the wall. Make sure it's a Celebrate Kids marked cord. All of our cords and equipment have Celebrate Kids tags and info on them. And once you get that cord, we're going to show you how to wrap that cord up, how to loop it up so it's all cleaned up out of the way. And as you see in the background, the bouncer is deflating pretty quickly, so it only takes about 2-3 minutes for the bouncer to completely deflate all the way. Alright, so now you're going to take the cord, leave a little bit of extra slack on the end to tie it with. Just wrap it around your hand and your forearm just like that. Just keep looping it around. Doesn't have to be super tight. All the way. And then once you get it to the end there, you're just going to take the extra pieces on the edge, wrap it around the cord 2 or 3 times, just like that, and then just wrap the opposite piece the other way, so it's going the opposite direction, and just plug it in like you would be plugging it into an outlet. Alright, and then set that with your other stuff. Make sure you pick up any stakes or sandbags. Stakes can get lost if you leave them in the ground, so make sure you get all those. Now for the bouncer, you want to just make sure that everything's flat, and in order to do that, you're going to have to step on it. So you're going to want to take off your shoes, so that way you do not get the bounce house dirty. So slip those off, so that way you can squish the extra air out. You always want to squish the extra air out towards the back, so lay these flat. And now we're going to pull the bounce house one direction, and you're going to pull it this way so it's all flat along that one side. You want to try to make it so there's no extra folds, extra creases. Just figure like you're folding your clothes, you just want everything to be kind of even. You don't want extra double seams folded over, so just pull that flat this way. And now you're going to grab the front side and pull it back towards the back of the bouncer to make sure that it's flat and make sure nothing's folded over twice over itself. And then you just pull it back that way, step on it, and push it back down. And then we're just going to kind of walk on the whole thing, kind of squish out any spots that have extra air, any extra bounce house material, and then pull this side back and pull it back flat. And that's pretty much your goal, is to just make sure that everything is as flat as possible from the front of the bouncer where the step is to the back of the bouncer where the tubes are. And then once you get that flattened out and laid out, you can put your shoes back on, because now you're not going to have to be walking on that part of the bouncer. Once we get it rolled, we'll be walking on the bottom side of the bouncer, which is okay to walk on with your shoes. So now you're going to start on one side, and you're going to flip the edge on the green side on the bottom, and you're going to flip that halfway. So just flip it right to the middle of the steps, so it's one half of the bouncer folded over. And then you're going to flatten that out, lay it down all the way from the front, all the way to the back. Make sure that that air tube is stretched out so the air can still escape, because it's still got some extra air in there. Going to go to the opposite side back there. Flip it all the way across so the two green sides meet in the middle. Make sure that it's all even. The more even it is, when you get to your final roll, you'll have a nice even roll on the top and the bottom. And then what you do, we call this walking it out. You're going to just go from the front and walk the air all the way out to the back of the bounce house. So that way all the air goes out of the little tube in the back, and you squish down all the extra padding. There you go. There's one side nice and flat, and then go back to the front. Don't walk from the back side to the front. Always walk back around. Start where the step is at the front, and walk all the air just like that. And when you squish out the air, you also squish down the extra material to make sure it can be as flat as possible. And this is what it should look like when you get to that stage. Both sides right up lined in the middle, nice and even, flat and straight. Alright, now we're going to show you how to do the second fold. You're going to fold this edge here all the way across, all the way atop to the other side. So folding it right in half again. So you go half, half, and then fold in half again is the basic fold for most bouncers. Now you're just going to straighten it up, make sure that all the sides are aligned. So these sides here are laying flat with each other. Make sure these sides are laying flat with each other over here. Here we go. We're going to get these straps in a preparation way. So sometimes the straps lay exactly where you need them. Sometimes you got to redo them. If you got to realign the straps, what you do is just take about a couple feet of it, put it right under the edge of the bouncer, about a foot or so, and then pull enough through so when you roll it, you'll be able to pull on that strap. There we go. And now we got one side done. You're going to do that to the other side. So grab the other strap. You're going to tuck it under the bouncer, about a foot underneath the bouncer, about a foot in. Pull enough strap, about a foot of the strap, so that way you can get to it. There you go. And now we are ready to roll the bounce house. There we go. We're going to go and squish a little bit of air out. This is your final walk it out. So you're going to walk all the air out, get it nice and flat. If there's anything you need to align, make sure you get it lined up nice and straight. There we go. And squish all the air out of the back. And once you get to that point, the bouncer should look something like this. And that is a bouncer that is flattened and ready to roll. You see the straps sticking out the back there. Alright, so what you're going to do is start where the step is in the front, and the most important thing is to get it nice and flat in the front. Get that nice and tight roll on the step part there. So just use your hands and roll it as tight as you can, like you're rolling up just like you're rolling up one of your camping tents or something. So just start that roll nice and even there. One side where the double fold is, which is on Dave's left side over there, that's going to be the bottom of the bouncer when you stand it up. So you want to make sure that that side is nice and flat. Sometimes if you have multiple people at your event, you have someone that can help you push down some of the bouncer area right in front of where you're rolling. If you're going to help them walk the bouncer, make sure you walk with your feet right at the edge, right where he's rolling it, almost so he's rolling over top of your toes. Make sure that you don't get your feet or shoes or stuff stuck in there. So just step it out. Once he gets most of the way through, it's pretty much already flattened. Just keep rolling, make sure it keeps nice and tight. That's one of the most important parts. And make sure that the side that's going to be on the bottom here is nice and even. You don't want to have a big piece of the bounce house sticking out of the side. That way it won't sit flat when it's sitting on the trailer or on the shed or wherever it's being stored. And once you get it rolled most of the way out there, get all the way to the end, straighten out your straps so they're pulled nice and straight. You're going to go ahead and you're going to roll the bouncer all the way to the end, squish the air out, and then roll it back a couple feet. In the end where the tubes are, you're just going to fold these into the bouncer like this. And then you're going to take the edge of the bouncer, tuck it up, and just tuck it in. The most important part here is to make sure that none of the colored part of the bouncer is showing. You just want to cover up that inside part so it stays nice and clean and doesn't get dirty when it's on a trailer or getting unloaded or loaded. And now you're going to take these straps, you're going to loop it around. We're going to show you a little trick on how to get these nice and tight here. So what you want to do, take the strap, go through the metal loop, and pull it all the way almost tight. Not too tight, but just enough that you can still have some slack underneath. Now here's how you're going to tie the slip knot. You're going to hold that there nice and tight. You're going to make a loop with the extra slack. Tuck it underneath the bottom strap that's going along the bounce house. And then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to tuck that back through the knot. And you're going to want to push this through here. Take that little loop, go through the other loop. So you're just going to pull one loop through the other loop. Now once you get that nice and tight, hold that there. You can hold your thumb on it, you can hold your finger on it, but make sure you don't let any slack on that line right there, because that's going to keep the bounce house rolled nice and tight. Once you do, pull that second strap through there, and you're going to pull it up towards where the metal ring is, so that way you can tighten the knot. So just slide it up there like that. Make sure you keep that left hand on the metal piece there on that strap to keep it nice and tight. And as you tighten it, you can pull a little extra slack if needed. And once you get it in the right place, there you go, give it a good tug, lock it into place. And there you go. We're going to show you one more time, just so you can see a second one. Sometimes it takes a little bit to learn. If you have to redo the strap a couple times on the bouncer, that's okay. It's better to redo it once or twice and get it nice and tight. So through the metal loop, and then you're going to hold that right there. Going to take it, make a loop with the extra slack that you have, and you're going to make a little loop there, and now you're going to tuck it through the bottom. There you go, and now pull it nice and tight, hold it there with your hand, reach through the big loop, pull the little loop through, and lock into place. That was a little bit faster to see how it works. Once you get there, stand it up on the bottom side, and that is how you roll a bounce house.